Hey Ken, hope you're having a great day. I'm Austin Walker, and I just want to give you a quick little introduction video about myself, some of my training methodology, philosophy, some people who are huge influences throughout my time at Exos, and then some experiences that I've already gone through that have helped forge me into the coach I am today. So kind of addressing that first question, what is your training philosophy? So what I think about when I design a program is using a preventative approach. What are some ways we can do multi-joint exercises in multiple different planes as a way of establishing, a complex biological skill acquisition, which is then going to help put you into a secondary default. So essentially saying, what we train in the gym is something that can be then transferred into your day-to-day life, and how that can help prevent injuries in real life. So taking that into consideration. And one thing I like to put into perspective, like an RDL, that's a good way of how to properly tighten up the core and make sure everything's structurally sound in our body to prevent any injuries as you put that spine through that load. And that can translate to, if you're moving and if you are needing to do, pick stuff up off the ground, you are putting that spine into a safe position without having to worry about lowering that lumbar spine. So that's one thing I like to think about when I am approaching my philosophy. The way I kind of structure my classes is I pair a bilateral with a unilateral movement. So my heavy compound multiple large muscle group exercise, that's gonna be your primary exercise. That's going to be the bilateral, whether it be a compound, heavy dumbbells or kettlebells. And then I usually pair that with either a corrective exercise or a unilateral exercise. When I am going further into my, programming and we're getting to the accessory block, we get a little bit higher with the volume, and then we usually finish up with ESD. Normally, if we ever throw in a power block, I like to throw in a corrective exercise as well, or pair it with a core exercise. But again, just trying to sneak in any corrective exercises throughout the program as needed, depending on the clientele. And that's a really big thing, is getting to know the clientele, fixing any asymmetries in the body, anything that you may have developed, any muscular imbalances, addressing that issue first, and then focusing on the spine and getting that spine into a safe position. That way you can fire off those muscles as fast as they can, really fixing that central nervous system to help our muscles actively, rapidly fire as much as possible. Next question I wanted to address is, where do you seek inspiration? And some of the inspiration I really look into is Brett Bartholomew. He is a conscientious coach, so he's one of the people that help you buy into programs. So he takes the approach of getting to know your clientele, their needs, their wants, their likes, dislikes, more, building rapport with clients rather than just the programming itself, because you can develop phenomenal programming, but if there's no relationship with you and that client, there's nothing really keeping them there for the long term. They may learn and pick up new things, but at the end of the day, it is a customer facing service, and we should address it as such. You need to have that customer facing service, doing as much as you can to provide support, whether it be in person or over email. Do whatever you can to help achieve their fitness goals, and doing that approach by getting to know them as a person and not just as okay, you showed up to class, let's get moving. It's really getting to know who they are as people. Another big person is Kelly Starrett. He is really, really knowledgeable in the world of mobility. He has his own, YouTube page, Mobility WOD. So it's something I really, really follow and I watch a lot of, and still read a lot of his books and stuff I incorporate into my region and recovery classes, as that helps open up the body, increase your range of motion to help prime you up for those movements that we're going to later get into the day, or if you just need a regen day, just helping, break up any adhesion that may be built up into the body. Another big guy I like to follow is Teddy Wilsley. Teddy Wilsley is a physical therapist and a strength and conditioning coach. He doesn't have too many books or anything out there like that, but he has a lot of content on social media, and also he does a lot of seminars and things of that nature. He's very good at taking that prehab approach, so preventative care, making sure that you're lifting in a safe environment, using as much regressions and progressions as your clientele needs. He does establish, physical therapy and strength conditioning coaches all on the same line spectrum. It's just a matter of where you start, how you progress and regress, your training frequency, your volume, and the intensity you put into the program. So taking all that into consideration, even if you don't have an injured clientele, you may have someone who hasn't been into the gym for years to come, so they may need that baseline, very basic movements to establish those movement patterns before progressing into more complex things. And then lastly, we can't forget Mark Verstegen. He's a huge guy. I know it's easy to say because we're with Exos, but I've been with Exos for now a year and a half, including my internship. He's a lot of what I do when I do my programming, as far as the methodology, the pillar prep, movement prep, CNS activation, making sure you get 1 to 2 strength blocks in, followed by ESD. So a lot of the way I structure my actual class is based off of his methodology, and then still taking into consideration all 4 pillars for your clientele, because it's not just movement. You still want to get into their mindset, their nutrition, and their recovery, because those are all going to be components of health. And the last question I want to address is, what is the most impactful fitness and wellness movement moments you have had during your career? And for me, one of the big things that have helped forge myself into the coach I am today is my internship at the API facility in Frisco, Texas. We got to spend countless hours. It was during the combine, so I spent 6 days a week there, over 900 hours over the total internship, working closely with the coaches, not only the coaches, but how to maintain a good facility up to Exo standards, building relationships with clients, using equipment that I maybe have unfamiliar with at the time, but now I'm very comfortable with, such as Kaiser equipment, and being able to use that efficiently and effectively. And then we also like to think and address how I have impacted others and how I have impacted their lives. So that's just like my current job now. I feel like I've really impacted their lives, and I made changes, and they've kind of, come to me on almost a regular basis. Some people even come to home from work just to come to my classes. So I feel like, if they're really making that effort to come see me on a daily basis, not only do they value their health, but they value what I bring to the table. So, just addressing it as personally as I can to each clientele, even in a group setting, trying to do as much as I can to make it personal to them, and fixing their body as much as I can. And it seems like it really has impacted their lives. Usually I have a wait list for my classes. They're usually booked out, so they seem to really enjoy what I've been bringing to the table, and they value what I have been able to do at this Intel campus. Thank you for your time. Hope to hear from you in the near future. Have a good day. Bye.